Salutations. So, I've recorded 2 videos tonight, and I guess I just felt like making it a trilogy. Because right now it's 2:05 a.m., but I don't work tomorrow, so let's just go for it. Just been vibing on films tonight, so I figure I've talked about like a timeline, my favorite films of all time. I've talked about my favorite types of films. So I figured, you know what? I haven't really talked about anime on this channel, so let's talk about my favorite anime films. Also, Girl Scout cookies came today, so don't mind if I snack. And before we get into it, hands are all chocolate. Damn it, chocolate. Before we get into it, the last 2 videos I gave a little recommendation for the lo-fi that I was listening to while filming. I've been filming these long enough to get through that space traveling compilation. Now I'm on, let's see if you can see it. We're on this one here. I was trying to block the light, but it wasn't happening. I believe, like, if you type in Japanese lo-fi, you'll find it. I believe it's called Tokyo, but I'm not sure. Absolutely love it. Vibing on it. I've listened to it before, and it's one of my favorite lo-fi compilations. So, I think I'm gonna make that a thing. Like, if I'm just chilling, sitting down, vibing, just give, like, a lo-fi recommendation. So let's do this, all right? So first, let's talk about my favorite anime films of all time. This isn't like the top 3 ranked or anything. This is just 3 of my favorites. I might do more than 3. Yeah, I'm gonna go more than 3. First one. First, I'd like to note there are a lot of really numerous notable films in the anime variety that I haven't seen. Like, I haven't seen Akira or Acura. I don't know how to say it. I haven't seen Princess Mononoke yet. I haven't seen The Boy and the Beast. I really want to see The Night is Short, Walk On Girl. There is so much anime that I haven't seen. But let's get into what I have seen. So, the first film that I'd like to talk about is a little motion picture you might have heard of if you're part of the anime community called Your Name. Ooh, that film surprised me. Like, out of all the films that I like, really at all, that one surprises me the most because I am what you could describe as an aromantic. Like, romantic attraction and me just don't meet anywhere. It's just not really a thing in my life. So, if I tell you that Your Name is an incredible film, you can take that shit right to the bank, because, like, that film had me emotional, and, like, it didn't make me cry or anything, but, fuck, that film took hold of me. Like, the visuals are absolutely fucking stunning. Like, just damn, dude. Girl Scout cookies. Like the peppermint chocolate ones are my favorite. Anyway, Your Name. So, if you're not familiar with it, it's a romance film where, like, this boy and this girl basically, like, swap bodies once in a while, and, eventually they start to form feelings for each other. And, like, I'm not trying to give away anything, but, like, that's the basic premise. And it seems simple enough, right? Well, like, it keeps you on your toes a little bit. And it's just so fucking beautiful. Like if I had the slightest inkling of romantic feelings ever in my life, I'm sure this film would just, like, take my heart, like, twist it, rip it out my chest, and then just, like, crush it. But then also make it feel really pretty and, like, happy and whatnot. Because, I mean, it's a film that just makes you happy when you watch it, but it just grabs you right by the feelings and does not let go. For a while after you watch the film. Like this film, like, I'm not typically the type of person to describe something as, like, cute or adorable or anything, but, like, with this film, it does something to me. Like, I could spend all day doing nothing but, like I don't know, fucking weight lifting in a mosh pit on cocaine and listening to biker metal or something. I don't know. I could do something like that all day for like a year, and then I could put in Your Name, and within like 3 minutes, I'll be like curled up on my bed, hugging my pillow, smiling. It's just, it has a vibe, and that vibe's gonna take you over if you let it. It's a real heart warmer. I love it. Like, I introduced my best friend to it because that's what friends are for, and I don't quite remember if he would describe it as his favorite film or not, but I take pride in sharing this film with my biffle. And yeah, Your Name is really, really good. Wow. There's like so much Girl Scout cookie on my hands right now. By the way, if you're new here, basically what I like to do, at least for the time being, is I just kind of talk at the camera with no cuts or anything like that. I just kind of ramble and hope that I make sense. So, like, this is the vibe that you're getting into for a while. So that's Your Name. Another one that I'd like to talk to you about is Cowboy Bebop Knocking on Heaven's Door, or Cowboy Bebop the movie. Like, that's a real missed opportunity. Like, Knocking on Heaven's Door is a really cool subtitle, and, like, it gives you the vibe that you're looking for, or the vibe that the film's gonna give you, pretty much. But for whatever fucking reason, people had to be like, you know what? Let's take this really dope-ass title and make a generic title out of it. I mean, calling something like something the movie does kind of make me smile in like a really nostalgic way. But like Knocking on Heaven's Door is what it's called to me. I fucking love this film. Cowboy Bebop is somewhere in my favorite animes of all time list. It's in my top 10. Sometimes it's in my top 5. And the film is definitely, like, if you were to ask me what my favorite episode of Cowboy Bebop is, I would tell you the film. Um, incredible experience there. Like, you definitely should not, do any drugs. But, like, if you happen to, like, slip and fall on a bong, because, like, I haven't done that, but, like, I've heard that if you, like, slip and fall on a bong and you accidentally take a bong hit and you go, well, I should watch Cowboy Bebop knocking on heaven's door. It's a really, really cool experience. It's like, there's just a sense of stoicism to Cowboy Bebop that I just adore. And, like, it's a real chill vibe. And the film, like, it's not like this incredible, like, pretentious art house thing, but it just makes you think. Like, it's an action film, but it really makes you think and it makes you feel. Like, that's what I care more about. Like, I'd much rather a film make me feel than make me think. I mean, I like a mix of the two, but this film is like, it has some reality questioning themes, and it's like, it's not like it provides like hard evidence for like a simulation theory or anything. It's just like you watch it and you feel emotions and you just sort of vibe on it. Like, you think like, are you living in the real world? Who knows? And I love it. It's 2:17 a.m. and I can feel myself starting to make less sense and ramble more. So I'm gonna try to wrap this up a little bit. I mean, so another favorite anime film of mine is Street Fighter 2, the animated movie. This is a fucking nostalgia trip. I found it on VHS at a Goodwill. And by the way, I found the edited version, not the uncut version. I should go and watch the uncut version, but like, I don't have the desire to like look it up online or anything. Because part of the fun of Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, is putting in the VHS. Like, there are some films out there where you're like, you know what, I'd like to see what this looks like remastered, like put on a Blu-ray or like remastered into 4K or something. Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, is a fucking VHS film. Like, that's where it belongs. And it's great. Good, really good fight scenes from what I remember. It's been a while since I've seen the film. Like, I didn't rewatch any of these to film this. It just happened to be out here with my laptop, and I'm like, you know what? I'm doing it. So, Street Fighter 2, the animated movie. Good vibes. I just fucking spilled a lot of that wine. Real good fight scenes. I liked all the animation. I thought the animation looked pretty damn good from what I remember. Not huge on story, but there's a vibe to it that I appreciate. I mean, there is a story. I just mean, like, when I think about it, I don't think about the plot as much. I think about, like, the aesthetic and just kind of the vibe of the film. And so, yeah, Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, putting it amongst my favorite anime films of all time. Don't judge. Like, I've seen Spirited Away, and I remember really, really liking it, but I don't know, I wouldn't put it in my favorite status. I'm sure if I saw it again, I would be into it more. Like, I've gotten a lot more into abstract stuff, compared to, like, when I saw the film in, like, 8th grade, 7th grade, maybe. Splinter or some shit. Damn it. Bitch. Damn Splinter. I like that. Bitch. I made the Splinter my bitch. Anyway, I am really tired. It's 2:20 a.m. I'm normally not this kind of tired, so what film am I talking about? Spirited Away, yeah. I like it. I should watch it again, because I think I'd like it more now. But at the time being, I'm not going to put it in my favorites of all time, but just know that yes, I have seen it. Yes, I do like it. Because that's one of those films, though, like, at least amongst people that I know, if you've seen anime films, that's, like, the one you should be watching. So I just thought I'd address that. So, my favorite anime film of all time, like, before this, they hadn't been ranked, like, third place, second place, whatever. It's just some of my favorites. And my favorite anime film of all time is a little motion picture called Grave of the Fireflies. Now, I've seen this film one time, I think 3, maybe 4 years ago. It's a heartbreaker, alright. Like, I had heard beforehand that it was sad, and I'm like, yeah, alright, I can fuck with a sad film. And then I watched it, and like, fuck. It just like, ripped my heart out through my throat, and like, crushed it, and then set it on fire. Like, this film gets you in the feels. Really, really good though. Like some of the images in there are just straight up haunting. But the animation is really good and vivid. Like, it's hard to call it a fun film to watch, but there's just something about it that I really, really like. There's just an emotion there where it's like you really feel passion coming through the screen, and I've got to respect that. Like it's a sad vibe, but like it's a sad vibe where it's like it's okay for this vibe to be sad. It's still an important, acceptable, valid vibe. I feel like I'm kind of defaulting to the word vibe. But like, I don't know. That's just part of my vocabulary. Just gonna have to deal with that, I guess. So yeah, Grave of the Fireflies, my favorite anime film of all time. Definitely don't watch it if you feel like doing happy things later. You're just gonna like sit there and think and feel and cover up in blankets after you watch it. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So those were my favorite animated films. Now I'm gonna try to do my favorite anime TV shows, but on a much faster pace because I'm trying to make this a little shorter than some of my other videos, and we're at 19 minutes. So let's get into it. Hold on, my lo-fi paused. There we go. I've been vibing on the lo-fi all night. Anyway, so yeah, TV shows, anime. Let's get after it. So, one of my favorites. There was definitely a time when I would have called this my favorite, but now it's sort of shaky on what my favorite is. But this is in my top 3, no matter what I consider my favorite at the time. Death Note. So, I briefly mentioned it in my favorite types of films video as an example. Basically, if you're not familiar, it's about this dude who receives a notebook from a god of death, and with that notebook, if he knows someone's name and face, he can write their name in the notebook, and that person will die. And so, this person, this dude, where is he? That fella there, Light Yagami, he gets this notebook and he decides to try to rid the world of criminals and create a utopian society. And grab the thing again. Look at me with the visual aids for this video. I didn't think of it for the prior two, or I did, but I don't know. I grabbed them for this video, so. This dude here, hold on, there we go. His name's L. He's a badass. He and Light should probably bang. And he's trying to stop Light from, killing off all these criminals, because L's a detective and Light's basically, this vigilante, and so they cross paths, they battle wits, and that's Death Note. That's Death Note. I was going to talk about the kind of vibes that I get from it, because, if you don't like anime already, you'll see it as, this really weird, awkward, cringy thing. But it's not necessarily like that. Fuck. I was getting ready to make taking a potato chip and eat it joke, and then I realized that I ate all my chips between the last two videos. And do I have any Coke Zero left? No, I don't. Drank all my Coke Zero. Fuck. I am running out of refreshments here. Anyway. It does have, some gothic vibes from, an aesthetic point of view. But generally, the vibe is just, this kind of feeling of empathy that you get for, both sides of this sort of moral quandary. And it has you, questioning shit, making moral judgment calls, and I really like it, so that's Death Note. Another favorite of mine, this is in the top 5 for sure, but it's not in the top 3. This is probably a solid 4th place favorite anime. It actually came out right around the time I was born, and my dad and I would watch it together, and I really, really liked it. Kind of fell away from it for a little while, and then got back into it. So King of the Hill is definitely one of my top 5 favorite animes of all time. If you're not familiar with the show, basically it follows these people, this family living in Arlen, Texas, and they have a bunch of different neighbors, and normally, it follows this dude named Hank Hill, and normally one of his neighbors, someone else in his community, will do something stupid, and Hank will have to clean it up. But also, I don't really always vibe with Hank, because we're very different people, but it's kind of fun, because, I can watch King of the Hill and laugh at Hank Hill, and my dad can watch King of the Hill and laugh with Hank Hill. It's pretty smart comedy, if you ask me. It has dumb jokes and whatnot, but it's definitely comedy at its perfection as far as television goes. It's definitely my favorite TV comedy. That's for certain. Um, yeah. So, King of the Hill. That's in my top five. Um, oh shoot, what else we got? Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now hold up. Some of you involved in the anime community are typing right now that Avatar is not an anime. It's made in America. To which I say, you might be right. I'm not an anime expert. I'm just a fan. I don't know what classifies something as an anime or not. But this is my video. I'm calling Avatar an anime. And if you don't like it, then you can find peace with it. This fucking show, man. I haven't finished it yet. I've seen a lot, or well, I say I've seen a lot of the first two books. I've seen all of the first two books, because it's basically like a 3x structure in anime. You got book 1, which is about the waterbenders, book 2, which is about the Earth Kingdom, and book 3, where they're in the Fire Nation, from what I'm given to understand. I haven't seen book 3 yet. But, like, I was the perfect age for this when it came out, and I watched a lot of it, but out of order and whatnot. And recently, starting like last year, I've decided to watch through it all the way. And I realized watching, like, every episode, I'd be like, I don't think I know what's going to happen here. And then the episode would start, and I'd immediately get thrown back to childhood in the mid-2000s. And so it's always a fun nostalgia trip to remember the episode as I'm watching it. I haven't seen as much Fire Nation, like, book 3 stuff. Like, I think book 3 is about the Fire Nation, I would imagine. You know, it's called book 3 Fire. So I'm guessing. But basically, if you're not familiar with the show, basically, there are these 4 different kind of nations, kingdoms, tribes, whatever. There are these 4 different parts of the world where certain people can control an element. Like, there are folks called earthbenders that move rocks and shit. There are these... There's a group of people who are mostly dicks, but not all dicks, because Uncle Iroh is fucking vibe sauce, and we should all aspire to be a little more like Uncle Iroh. Anyways, that aside, there, you know, people in the Fire Nation can, like, create fire. People in the northern and southern water tribes can manipulate water and ice and whatnot, and that's pretty cool. And then there are these airbenders who can control air. And I could have just totally quoted the intro, and that would have been a more concise summation of this, couldn't I? That was a missed opportunity. Basically, all 4 of these groups of people were living together in harmony, and everything changed when the Fire Nation decided to be dicks. And so they, basically, the Fire Nation declared war on, like, all the other 3 nations. And there's this one dude who gets reincarnated, and they call this person the Avatar because they can master all 4 elements. And so that the Avatar is sort of tasked to keep balance with like all four groups of people. And so the basis of the show is there's a new Avatar who has to basically stop the Fire Nation from going. Well, they're already at war, but stop the war between the Fire Nation and the rest of the people, the Water people, the Earth people, and the Air people. Um, so basically, this is some of the chillest fucking television you can watch. Like, there are intense scenes, you know, there are intense character moments, but there's just some fucking vibes to be had with this. Like, I'd like to know how many times I say vibe or some kind of vibe variation in this video, but Avatar: The Last Airbender is fucking vibes. Like, there's so much to be found in here. There are the occasional bits where it's like you can tell they made that joke for 7th graders. But there are some times where they do let the tension get a little further than you would think for a kid's show. Like, there are some episodes that are straight up downer endings, and that's pretty ballsy for kids' TV. Like, this shit was on Nickelodeon. But, like, you just watch this and you just feel chill. Like, Aang is one of my heroes, straight up. It's like, for the most part, he is just like the chillest fucking dude. And we should all strive to be a little more like Aang. Like, he's kinda, he gives me like anime Jesus vibes. Hopefully that doesn't come across as blasphemous. Um, so, you know, the whole show, it's all about the Avatar trying to control all four elements. Because he starts off as an airbender, which, by the way, like, in case you're wondering which kind of faction of Avatar I fall into, like I know a lot of people like to organize themselves personality-wise by Harry Potter factions, houses, whatever. Personally, I don't really do that. I like to go by the Avatar elements. Um, Personally, I'm an airbender, straight up. Like, I've got some waterbender in my personality, but there's like very, very little rock and almost no firebender in my little personality chart. But anyway, so he was trying to achieve balance between all four elements, and each element, you know, kind of represents an aspect of humanity, and like different kind of energies that people put out. And so it's this dude who's, you know, he's trying to stop a war, but like also he's just trying to find like inner harmony and shit. And I love it. I'm gonna finish it sometime soon. Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm calling it an anime, and I'm calling it one of the best animes. So now let's get into my top 3. Like, right now, these are my top... Or, well, I've already talked about Death Note, which is in my top 3. I forgot I let off with that one. I still had the Blu-ray down here. Let's talk about an anime which is very underrated, at least from what I've found in the anime community. Like, there are people that like this, but I just don't really hear it talked about in the same breath as other really good animes, and it deserves to be. Pop-ups, if you could stop. Anyway, So this anime in particular, I almost feel like it was made for me to watch it. You know what I mean? Like if you were to take a group of people who are making an anime, they don't know what they want to make, and they say, you know what? Let's ask this dude what we should make for an anime, like from concept to vibe to just sort of aesthetic style. And they took all my advice and took like my wish list for what I would like to see in an anime, and they put it into 12 episodes of just masterpiece of anime. It would be this little number here called Death Parade. Man, this will tear at your heartstrings. Like, I'm pretty sure it's 12 episodes, and don't get me wrong, there is one episode, I think it's 6, that feels kind of filler-ish to me, which, like, you know, we have 12 episodes, and I paid $45 for this Blu-ray. But even that episode I liked, I just didn't like it as much as the other 11. If you're not familiar with Death Parade, which you probably are not, very general outline, because I don't want to give too much away. In this, it takes place in this bar, and when two people die at the same time, they get sent here to this bar in the afterlife, and they play a sort of game, and that game ends up being a, what would you call it, sort of like a morality test for the people competing in it. And like they're sneaky about it. They're not like, hey, we're determining where you go when you die based on how you play this game. But like that's what they do is they have people, you know, two people who die at the same time. They come to the bar, they play a sort of game that acts as a morality test, and then from that, they determine whether or not each person goes to heaven or hell, and like, if you watch this anime all the way through, it will be a very, very emotional experience. It didn't make me cry, but I came close. Definite not for everyone here. There's some really heavy shit, especially in the end. Like each episode, you know, save for maybe episode 6, it like it's supposed to be kind of morally challenging, and just the emotion, the fucking emotion in this is off the charts. Like there's so much that I want to talk about, but I don't want to give anything away. Like let's talk about the just artistic, like, aesthetic of it. It is so fucking beautiful. Like, I have this as a poster right above my bed so I can see it whenever I go to sleep, wake up, or the vast majority of my day when I'm in my room. It's like, I don't know how they drew this, but I'm pretty sure there was some witchcraft involved, because nothing that human beings create should be able to look and feel this good, but a bunch of people got together and made this masterpiece, and that blows my mind. Like, this is like, see, I'm a film enthusiast. I want to write films and like possibly be like a filmmaker. And for anyone that can relate to that, do you ever have like a film? It might not even be your favorite film or your favorite TV show, but just something that exists that you're kind of mad that you didn't think of because it fits you so well, and it's just like it's incredible, and I feel like they made it for me, but I wish I could have made this because I love it so much. That's Death Parade for me. Fucking beautiful. So, let's talk about. It might be my favorite anime. It's hard between Death Parade and this one, but fucking Naruto slash Naruto Shippuden. I've seen the original Naruto series, which, if I'm not mistaken, in Japan, Naruto Shippuden isn't called Naruto Shippuden, it's just called Naruto. I don't know if I'm wrong about that, but I thought I'd heard that in Japan it's just all Naruto. But, like, I've seen everything pre-Time Jump. And I've seen, I think, 20-ish episodes post-Time Jump into Shippuden. And, like, I fucking love this sweatshirt right here. You know, fuck it, I'm gonna put this on. Cause, like, I haven't seen as much of Shippuden as the original series, but I like black is my favorite color, and blue is my least favorite color. So there's no way I was gonna go with the original series Naruto jacket. So yeah, Naruto. This video is 42 minutes long. I was trying to make it short, but I decided to do film and television, so there was no way that was gonna happen. So basically, I don't know where to start with this film, so I'm gonna eat a cookie while I think about it for a minute. Enjoy some space images for a second, because I'm hungry. Sorry if my chewing was loud and obnoxious. So, I'm pretty sure my first exposure to Naruto happened when I was in first or second grade. I was watching Toonami. I was getting ready to watch One Piece, which also should be in here because that was the first anime that I really got into, unless you count Pokemon. Or, like, a couple of VHSs of Dragon Ball / Dragon Ball Z. No, I think I saw Dragon Ball on Toonami. Anyway, I was getting ready to watch One Piece, and, which, by the way, I love One Piece. It was my favorite TV show of all time for quite a while. But I'm not deep into it, so whatever. And I caught a little bit of Naruto. And this is kind of spoiler territory for episode, I want to say it's somewhere in like the 30s of episode numbers. We'll say spoilers for like the first 50 episodes of Naruto for this backstory. I saw the majority of the Rock Lee versus Gaara fight. And I know at the time I must have been cheering for Rock Lee, because, you know, you're supposed to. Like, Gaara has since become my favorite character in all of Naruto. Shikamaru is the character that I relate to most, for sure. Like, there is way too much blue happening in that background. I get it, space, you look pretty, but like, it's supposed to be black. Fine. That's a little better. Anyway, so I watched that fight, and I thought this was fucking incredible, but I had no idea what the show was called. This must have been shortly after the episode came out. Like, it might have been the first time it aired on Toonami. I'm not sure. Because I was pretty young when I saw it. Definitely early elementary school. Had no idea what the show was called. Later in, like, 6th grade, I found out that it was called Naruto. And, I didn't really get back into it for a while. I'd see, like, tiny, tiny little bits of it once in a while, like, on Toonami or something. And eventually, my best friend started getting into it. And I think he had a similar experience where he had seen little bits. Like, we had seen one of the early, like, first 3 or 4 episodes on a DVD that he had back in the day. But it was never, like, our jam. And then around, like, 8th or 9th grade, and then, yeah, 8th or 9th grade, we started watching the first arc, like, the bridge arc, and getting into the Chunin exams. We watched that on my DVR Sunday afternoons after it aired late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. He'd come over to my place and we'd watch it. That was a good time. And then, like 2 years later, well, 2-3 years, around the time like I was a junior in high school, I had picked it back up because we kind of stopped watching partway through the Chunin exams. We just lost track of it on Toonami. I had gotten back into it, and I was watching it, and I found out that my best friend had gotten back into it too, and so that was a magical moment when we realized we were both fucking with Naruto again, and so, we kind of watch it at our own pace and compare notes and whatnot going through Naruto. And so it's really, I think that might make it my favorite anime, possibly, because, like, Death Note, fucking love it. It's, that rise to power type of story that I love. There's so much depth to it. Like, there's just so much good shit about Death Note. I love it. But I love Death Parade a little bit more than I love Death Note. And Death Note feels like it was, like, perfectly made for me, just about, save for a couple things, but you can't expect an anime to be perfect unless you make it yourself. It's like, I absolutely love this, but I don't often come back to it that much. Like, in fact, I don't think I've rewatched any of it since I've watched it through. Just because, like, knowing how emotional the ending gets, it's like I don't necessarily want to go back unless I'm ready, and I'm not. So I'm just, like, steering clear of that fields trip for a while. Like Naruto, there are some fields trips too, but, like, you can also watch it and feel good about life, which is always nice. And, like, I can watch it and talk about it with my best friend. So, I mean, I feel weird calling a friend my best friend because I don't like making my other friends who aren't this one person feel bad. But, like, I can compare notes with the Biffle, and that's awesome. Like, as fun as anime is by yourself, it's always funner with a friend. unless it's Death Parade, don't watch Death Parade with other people. You won't have a good time talking afterwards. Um, but yeah, man, Naruto. Like, I'm not a musically inclined person. Um, like, I'm listening to a lo-fi compilation right now, and I can't wrap my head around the music at all. It's just witchcraft to me. Um, like, I have no real sense of rhythm or anything. So when I compliment music in a show, just take that shit as law. And the music in Naruto is fucking dope. Like, the intros make you want to work out and, like, achieve your goals. I mean, yeah, basically that's what their intros do. Their intros make you want to work hard to achieve your goals, and the ending songs make you want to question what your goals are and why you do things and who you are as an individual. And the visuals to accompany those songs are always on point. They add so much to it. Like, I think my favorite Naruto, I know, like, my favorite Naruto ending is Wind. It's the first closer. I don't know what my favorite opener is. But damn, the music in Naruto is pretty fucking good. Also, I really like the animation style. Like if you talk about like the best animation in anime, I've never heard people talk about Naruto. You know, people are like, "Can you believe Akira is completely hand drawn?" Or like, they'll watch Castle in the Sky and it's like, "Holy shit, that looks beautiful." I really like the way Naruto looks. Um, but like generally, if I'm watching Naruto, I'm watching Naruto for some fucking vibes. Like, oh man. Alright, it's getting a little hot in here. I'm gonna take this off. This jacket is actually a lot warmer than this. Like, this is cooler. Plus, it has more black on it. So we're gonna go ahead and put that back on. But anyway, like, the vibes that you get from Naruto are, like, inspiration, straight up, like, sad feels, and, like, this feeling of, like, connection to, like, people, your friends. Like, watching Naruto makes me want to hang out with my friends and go on adventures and shit, which is something that I just don't really do. It also makes me want to work out, which is something I don't really do. Naruto. Fucking love it. Real. Fuck. Coughing. Real good vibes coming from Naruto. So, I guess that's what I felt like talking about. Went way longer than I intended. The first two that I filmed this evening, or night/morning, I kept those pretty short. Like, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go one more. Because I'm pretty sure I can do 3 short, concise videos. Not the case. 2 of them were short, concise, and 1 of them was really long. So yeah, if you're new here, this is the first time I've talked about anime, but maybe I'll talk about anime in the future. I don't know. Probably. I'm not going to tell you to subscribe to the channel, 1, because you just witnessed this rambly clusterfuck, and 2, you know, because, like, this isn't your first YouTube video, I would imagine. That'd be really cool if this was someone's first YouTube video that they ever watched, but I would highly, highly doubt that'll ever be the case. It's not your first time here. You know how to subscribe if you feel like it. I don't need to call to action you So, uh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't care, like, when people ask people to subscribe. I'm just like, I don't really do it. I don't know. It is 3 a.m. on the dot. I need to stop talking and go to bed. I probably won't go to bed for a little while. But I should stop talking because I'm rambling. We're like 55 and a half minutes. So, auf Wiedersehen. And yeah, go watch some anime.